Hello everyone, my name is Ryan. You may know me from the last time I recorded, which was a very long time ago. I have done a few things since then, and I'm going to update you guys on that throughout this. But this is the Corn Maze Mystery 3. This is, I hope, to be the end of this story, this trilogy. It's been a while since I last recorded. The last thing I recorded that I did myself, and I didn't work with anybody. I wasn't, asked to, come in to collaborate and all that stuff. And that was Corn Maze Mystery 2. That was back in 2018. It is now 2035. Actually 2034. It's actually 2034, almost 2035. So it's been over a decade and a half since I last recorded it. The reason for that is because the Corn Maze Killer actually went on a break. I don't know why, but in 2019, he didn't kill anybody. Actually, he didn't kill anybody until 2022. The reason why I didn't record is because he only killed 3 people, and they were very sporadic. He didn't kill anybody in October. He killed one in December. He killed one in August, and he killed one in July. So it was very sporadic, all stuff, and not much new information came on. And I do know that the Corn Maze Killer is at the Meetings House. And if you don't know the Meetings House, basically the Meetings House, a lot of things have changed in the city. A lot has changed in the city in the last 16 years. A lot. All the killers are now together. Actually, every single one of them is together now. They live in this house called the Meetings House. I actually live in the mansion with all the people that are being messed with by the killers, and we all live together in the biggest house in the entire city that can easily have 50 people in it and still have room. And we all, have plans and all that stuff, but the killers are not even the biggest problem anymore. Corn Maze Killer is not even the biggest problem anymore. Not as much as he was in 2017 and 2018. And that is because it's a cult. Not just any cult. This cult just doesn't stop. There's this man named Number 8. He doesn't mess around. And that's a scary thing. And a lot more people are supernatural now. The last time we recorded, which was October 31st, 2018. Was the last time I recorded for Corn Maze Mystery 2. There was no people at the time that I knew of that was supernatural. Now there's at least 5 killers, and the man's been have their own supernatural armies now. So yeah, a lot of things have changed, and that's the thing that scares me the most about the Corn Maze Killer is that we now know who the Poolside Killer is. We know that we know that Dr. Tim's killer is one of his colleagues. We just don't know who is it yet. Graduation number killer changes every single year. Dead picture killer changes every single year. But Corn Maze Killer we do not know. And what scares me the most about him over anybody else, even number 8, even the man, even the masked man, is that I don't know if he's supernatural or not. I don't know if he is. I don't know if he's not. And that's the thing. When I, hopefully, by the end of this film, and I find out who the killer is, I just hope that he's not supernatural, because if he is, I'm screwed. I mean, I'm already screwed. It's already a death sentence. I mean, I've been constantly told over the last 16, 17 years that, why are you here? Why'd you sign your death sentence? Why? And the reason is because I just want to find out who this person is and make sure that they can never kill anybody again. So if you guys don't know, the Quinns Mystery franchise, I guess you could say. Quinns Mystery 1, a guy named Brandon, who had lived in this city in his entire life, decided to do a found footage style documentary on a series of killings that were happening in the more country part of the city, more just land and stuff like that, instead of house by house by house. It was more away from the main city part. And there was this core maze that brought everybody together. And by this time in 2017, I mean, we still had well over 10 million people living here, and everybody in a 2-month period would mostly come by here. I mean, millions upon millions of people would visit this core maze. It just brought everybody together and brought everybody happiness and stuff like that. But then a series of killings happened, and he decided to investigate it. And at the very end of the film, which I watched and enjoyed a lot, it said that he went missing and he has not returned since. And so I somehow, someway got into contact with one of his friends, and he confirmed it, that it's not just a story that he made up. No, the core maze killer exists, and he legit went missing. He has not been seen since. And he has been now declared dead, because it's been so long. It's been almost 20 years since he went missing. He has not been seen at all since, and I honestly think he probably is. If he's not dead, then he's probably supernatural, working with one of the other killers and stuff like that. If Cormac's killer is supernatural, then maybe he's even working with him. I don't know. So that's the thing. We have these things called liquids now, the blue liquid and all that stuff that can turn people into supernatural. And also, we have these liquids that can make supernatural killers kill somebody and then choose if they want them to come back as a supernatural and work for them. So the very next year in 2018, after seeing this movie, I decided to move up here to Horrifying Nights. I've lived in Indiana my entire life. I've heard stories about Horrifying Nights, so I decided to just come and live in the city itself. I've lived here ever since then for the last 16 years. 16, almost 17 years. And so I decided to make the Quinns Mystery 2. Obviously, I talked to everybody. I'm like, hey, do you mind doing this? And like, absolutely, that's what Brandon would have done, because that was Brandon's plan immediately. He didn't want to just make this a one-time thing. If he couldn't find the killer, he was just going to keep on making these movies every single year until he found the killer itself. That's what he told all of his friends. He said that he would do it until he was either killed or he killed the Quinns killer. Because in this city, there is really no jail, because a supernatural can immediately get out. We are in the early stages of creating a supernatural jail that'll make sure they can't get out, with sort of like some powers and stuff. And we're thinking about doing that by next year, and stuff like that. But we know that, but this has been a long time. So in 2018, I started working on the case, and I immediately narrowed it down to around 10 people. Well, when all those 10 people really didn't come up to nothing. But when I went to the court maze itself, and I saw somebody run after me, I thought it was this person, so they went there, but that person was found dead, and there was a note that said Happy Halloween. This is just the end, this is just the beginning. I knew that this is going to be way more difficult than I thought. So I was ready to immediately start filming Court of Mystery 3, and I actually had filmed a little bit, but then I'm like, okay, so the killings usually start from all the information that I found over the years and all that stuff. I found that for some reason, all of the murders start in March or April. At the very latest, which was the first time we started killing, but that's actually not true. The first time was back in July, and that was the quote-unquote first time that I started killing people. But, so, I found out that actually this year, the reason why I'm recording now, it's been 18 years since then, is that he's taken a long break. But I noticed something. Now, he has killed a combined 72 people. But the interesting thing is that the first 2 years he killed 16. So why haven't I recorded since then? Well, in 2022, he killed his most at the time, which was 10. But by the time he was done, he was only doing it 1 a month. And he did it smart in a way that it would be impossible for me to record, because after Halloween, which would be his normal time, he started killing a lot more, which frustrated me. I'm like, you son of a bitch. But then in 2027, which would have been the 10-year anniversary, he killed another 10. And once again, he killed 6 people in November and December, and I'm like, but then he just stopped. But then in 2030, he killed 5 more, and I'm like, okay, this is weird. So by this point, he killed 10 in 2022, 10 in 2020, 7. So he has around 36. 2030, he kills 5. 2032, he kills 13. And no, he killed 10 in 2032. So that's around 50. So I'm like, okay. Obviously, he's waiting for that 20. He was killing a lot more because it was his 15th anniversary. Okay. But then this year, this is the first time that he's killed on October, for the first time since 2018. And I found out why. This is why I decided to record this time instead of waiting. So because it's close to the 25th anniversary, it's close to the 20th anniversary of his first murders. This year is actually the 20th anniversary of his first kill. I had to dig a lot deep into the information and all that stuff. One day I was talking to the old man, and this must have been earlier this year, and all of a sudden he was like, holy crap, I just forgot about something. And I was like, what? He says this year is actually 20 years since a murder has taken place by my corn maze. So if you don't know, the old man is the person that created the corn maze. He's the one that every single year he thinks up of the idea. He's done that since 1972. So he's been doing this for 62 years now, ever since he was in his early 20s. Now he's in his 80s. And he said that back in 2014, there was a murder. Actually, two that happened by the corn maze. One that happened on the corn maze itself, and then another that the body was moved there. I'm like, wait, what? I never read that before. And he actually showed something like that because that was the first crime that ever happened in that neighborhood, ever. He had been living in that neighborhood since 1970. It took 44 years for there to be a crime. Now when there isn't a crime, at least once, now when there isn't a murder there once in a year, that's shocking. But back then it was a big shock, because back then the man would only kill every 2 years. The Shao would only kill every 5 years, and Madness hadn't killed at that point for over 20 years now. So back then it was more so every few years that a murder would happen in the city alone, let alone in a specific neighborhood. So he showed me the newspaper clipping, and then he showed me on his phone of like the news, like a clip from them talking about it. And I'm like, holy crap, why didn't I find this out before? And he's like, well, we would always talk about more recent crimes like that, like 2017, and then it hit me that no, there was a murder. And so I asked him, were there any after that, between 2014 and 2017? He says no. And I'm like, huh. So this is actually the 20th anniversary of those first crimes. And I just think that that's weird, but not really, when already in September he killed 6, and so far in October it's only the 15th, but he's already killed 5. So he's already killed 11, which is already his most, because it's his 20th anniversary of his first crimes. So he's trying to go all out. And I think he's trying to hit 20, which he may very well. But yeah, over the last 18 years, every now and then I'm like, hey, I want to do this, but there would be so long of a break that it just wouldn't really be any point. But now I definitely have to do this. I definitely want this to be the end. And I want to start my own series. I want to start my own series trying to investigate this. Try to figure out. Because this is what I said. Even if I find out who it is, I still need to find out why. I still need to find out when, where, and all these questions. This thing, even though the thing would be revealed, that doesn't mean all the answers would be given. I don't know if he's the only person that is working. I don't know if there's two killers at the same time. I don't know if he's supernatural, because if he is, then I'm dead. Unless I can talk to Mike, which is the drug guy that deals in all the liquids, if he can somehow possibly make me supernatural and all that stuff. Right now we only have 2 people in the entire city that isn't a killer that is supernatural, and that is Toby and Doc. But I want to find out if it is possible to figure out who this person is and why. So that's the end of part 1. I want to separate this really into 2 parts, or actually 3 parts, 4 if you count the very end. Part 1 is obviously telling you guys what's been happening over the last 18 years. Part 2, I want to tell you guys what's been happening just in the last year, information that I found and all that stuff. Part 3 will be confronting the suspects, and then part 4 will be the end, finding out who the killer is and seeing if you guys will find out whether I lived or died. So so for this next part, I will be probably, I think recording like this would be a lot more easier for me, just telling you guys information and all that stuff, instead of showing you guys my face and not being able to read all the information at the same time and all that stuff. But yeah, so that's it for part 1. So let's begin with part 2. Alright, so as you guys saw, part 1 is finished, so now it's part 2. So what's happened more recently? Well, all 3 of the leading detectives on the case have been killed by Quinns' killer. The first detective died in 2018 when I did Quinns Mystery 2. The second one died in 2022, and then the third one died in 2032, just 2 years ago. So they're all gone. Brandon is obviously still missing. I have asked Toby, who used to actually stalk the man for 28 years before he decided to stop stalking and meeting the man and messing with him. And I have thought about asking him, trying to find Brandon. We can find like obituaries. With the technology we have in 2030s now, it's so much easier to find somebody now. So I thought about doing that. And that's one of the things I may leave for the series, trying to find Brandon and the aftermath of finding out who the killer is and all that stuff. But I wanted to so one of the major things that has changed, one of the biggest things that have changed is that Corn Maze nowadays really likes to take a break. He really likes to take breaks now. It's just frustrating because when I do want to try and find information on him, it's almost impossible. I just can't. I just can't do it. And finding so I think that's what I may start to do first, is tell you guys what's been happening over the last year. So in 2033, actually the last day of 2033, December 31st, there was a murder by the corn maze. Obviously the corn maze wasn't made. It was basically just land by that point. I heard of that there was a murder, because now I actually live in the neighborhood of the old man. I actually live right next door to the old man. And I told Brandon and Jason that you need to live next door to the old man to make sure that he does not die, because he knows everything about this. He knows everything about the city. He's lived here longer than all of us have been alive. And so after I got done recording, I wanted to get all the information, and Brandon called me up, and he told me that there were 3 more murders, so now it's up to 14. This is now October 17th, so there's around 2 weeks left until Halloween, and he's now at 14, so he's just 6 in the next 2 weeks, which, I mean, unfortunately, he can probably do that in his sleep. So, suspects. Who do I think are the people? So, in Corn Maze Mystery 2, there were 10 suspects that I had. All the detectives were one of them, even though I never told them. I thought it was one of the detectives. It's 3. The old man, 4. Brandon, I had to put that on there. Brandon. His best friends, which was 3 of them, so that's 8. Then I had to start thinking it could have been one of the other killers. So I just put the man in the mask. Well, unfortunately, out of that group, obviously it's not the man in the mask man. They're way too busy with all these other things, and none of them even have the characteristics of what we think is the Corn Maze killer. So those 2 are, all 3 of the detectives are dead, so those 3, so that's 5. That only leaves 5. Brandon's still missing, and like his friend said, it's just not possible with the way. And because you heard footsteps in the end of Corn Maze Mystery 1, you know, there were at least 2 people in the room. So that leaves only 4. Then you have the old man, which he's in his 80s. And I know that we live in the 2030s, the average age living is now well into the 90s. Well into the 90s. In this city, life expectancy is quite low, but there's still people, if you are old enough, you can live into your hundreds. But he's too old to kill somebody, especially now. He's just way too old. So, that leaves only 3. And that's the friends. Well, that is basically not... Well, out of the 3 friends, there's only 2 left. 2 are alive. And that is it. That is Nick and Brian. Nick and Brian are the only 2 left alive. In 2018, Tim was killed, so the only leaves 2, and those, I do plan on confronting them, because I haven't told them, but I honestly think it's one of those 2. If it's not any of those 2, I have no idea. Yeah, I guess it would have to be one of the killers then. It has to be one of those 2. So over the last year, when I found out, I dug a little bit deeper into what people were thinking in 2014 when the 2 murders happened. A lot of it was shock, because even though the man had been killing every 2 years for the last 12 years, so 6 out of the last 12 years he's killed, he would only kill 1 or 2 people in the entire year. So that's only like 6 to 12 people, compared to now when the man and the masked man have killed a combined 114 people. It's like apples and oranges. It's just, there's no comparison. It was shock. I read somewhere that people at first didn't believe it. Saw like the autopsy reports were there, they were like, wow, there's actually some murders here. Now everybody thought that was the man at first. It wasn't, because the man specifically said that. He said that I've never even been to that neighborhood ever, and that's true. He still has never been to that neighborhood. I've talked to him. It's confirmed that he's never been to that neighborhood and never will. So what now? What about now? Right here at this second, what am I thinking now? I think it's time to confront the both of them. And I think it's time to confront them, sit them both down, and talk to them, interrogate them, ask them what their thoughts on this is, giving them information and all that stuff. And going from there. It's probably not going to be pretty. There's probably going to be some punches thrown and all that stuff. Especially if you're being accused of doing something you didn't do, all that stuff. But I think it's time for everybody to find out who the killer is. Wait, I'm getting a call. Hello? Yeah, Toby? There was another 4 murders. And it's confirmed to be the Quinns killer. Damn it. Yeah, I'm recording right now. Yeah, Quinns Mystery 3. Okay, I'll say hi. You know what, that brings a total to yeah, I mean, he's 2 away from that being. 20 kills represent 20 years. Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna confront, I'm gonna get Nick and Brian to come here. Yeah, because I think they did it. I think one of them did it. Or both of them. But at least one of them did it. I don't know which ones, but we're going to find out. Alright, wait, is the old man okay? Alright. I thought it was weird when I heard the sirens. I thought that was just sirens were going past here. They stopped, so... Oh, because they were picking up bodies. Okay. Alright, yep. Alright, goodbye. So Toby says hi. So obviously you guys heard there was 4 more murders, so now there's only 2 away from reaching 20 kills, represent 20th anniversary. So now it's time to actually go confront Brian and Nick. So here we go. Alright, hi guys. So I am here with Nick. Actually, Brian, sorry. Nick is not here yet. He's at work, so yeah. Talk to him later. Alright, so Brian, do you know why you're here? No, okay. You are here because I'm just gonna tell you this right now. And I don't want you to get mad. You know, if you get mad, that's totally understandable. I'm just doing this to narrow down everybody. Okay? So obviously, you know, I've been living here for almost 17 years, and I've been working on the Quinns mystery case for every day that I've lived here. With that, I've had to make some suspects and all that stuff, and with that, there were 10 to 13. 5 of them were killers, but the other 8 were 3 detectives, Brandon, even myself, the old man, and then you, Nick, and Tim. Now Tim is gone. All 3 of the detectives are gone. The old man is too old. I wasn't here for the first ones. Brandon is missing still. The killers are way too busy with all the other stuff. So I left just you 3. Now that Tim's gone, it's just you 2. So I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to interrogate you for a little bit. And then I'll narrow it down from there. Is that okay? Alright, if you get mad, it's fine. If you need to hit me, that's fine. Okay, it's totally understandable. So, in 2014, where were you at the time that you can remember? 2014, I was 18, so I was in college. I wasn't living here. I was living near the university, Horrifying Nights University, and I was actually roomed with Nick and Tim. That's how we became, you know, the bestest friends and stuff like that, and Brandon and all that stuff. So that's where I was. Why? Well, actually, shockingly, the first murder ever to take place was back in 2014. Actually, there was 2. One that happened on and by the corn maze, and one where the body was moved towards the corn maze. So that's why. Now you tell me that's good. Second thing is if you were the killer, how would you have done it? What I mean is, would you have moved the bodies towards the corn maze? Would you have moved them away from the corn maze? Or do you think that's the perfect hiding place? The reason why I ask is because of the way the corn maze killer kills people. He moves their bodies, places them in certain places and all that stuff. I wanted to ask you that and all that. and stuff. Okay. Well, to get back to the 2014, I did see every now and then. And I do remember the 2014 murders, but I thought that was somewhere else. I didn't know that was by the Cormiers until much later. If I were to do it, I would have placed them in the middle of the Cormiers. It would have been the hardest to find them. I know the Cormiers killer, he would put them right next to the entrance of the Cormiers or by the exit of the Cormiers, and that way you could easily find them. I would not have done that. I don't know, it's just way too easy. And stuff like that. But yeah. Okay. Toby keeps on calling me. I'm gonna ask you one more question. If he calls me again, I'll answer it. Where were you on December 31st, 2033? I was home. That's where I was. Okay, I'm gonna answer this. Yeah, Toby. Wait, what? What do you mean? No, just calm down. Calm down. What do you mean? Wait. Wait a second. Well, you're telling me he killed up to 18 and stopped. He stopped in the last 2 weeks because... Oh shit. Wait a second. Wait. I think I know why. He stopped at 18. Right, what's wrong? Why did he stop at 18? Because those last two victims are meant to be you and I. What the hell? They'll turn off the lights. Okay. Don't touch him. Nick? Nick, what are you doing? I'm killing you. I should have done this a long time ago. No! Nick, you've been the Cormiers killer the entire time. Why? It's very simple. Wait a second. Alright, done. So where were we? Why? Well, it's very simple. I've been tired of people like the man this man and all these other killers having all the fun. I had always wanted to kill somebody, but I just didn't know how. Be more creative and all that stuff. Then I thought, I live right next to a corn maze. Why not? So in 2014, I tested it out. Perfectly. No one found out. People were shocked. Back then, murders didn't happen here. Crimes of any kind didn't happen in this city. Then, 2017, I decided to do it again. Then, the movies started coming up like, hey, I gotta do this. I gotta make this an annual thing. Then in 2018, I stopped. Okay. So I have a question. Why did you stop? Why did you stop after all this time? Because it started to get boring. 2019, I killed one person because it had been 5 years. 2022, for the fake 5-year anniversary, I killed 10. 2024, I killed 1. 2027, 10. 2029, killed 1, and all that stuff. But I knew I wanted to, for the 20th anniversary, meet you, be revealed for the 20th anniversary. And that is number 19 right there. But there's one more that I need to close this story out for good. And that is you. Toby is right. I left those last 2 for Brian and for you. So, if I were you, I would run. I'm not running anymore. I'm not going to be like Brandon and run away. I'm not going to be like the guy that I thought, and he got killed by you. Now I'm going to fight you. So let's go. Where'd you go? Where the hell did you go? Right here. You see, Ryan? We're not closing the store with you being the hero. The villain's gonna win this time. Any last words? Are you supernatural? Well, that's for the series when it comes out. To find out. That's for Brandon, Jason, Toby, and all of them to find out. But you're not going to. I'm going to whisper you the answer. There you go. Goodbye, Ryan. Now, viewers, that is it. Mystery 3. Next is Corn Maze Mystery Series. I finally get my own series.